Samsung has made many smartwatches, and through all that experience, the company has refined its Tizen software so much that it has completely ditched Google's Wear OS. The Galaxy Watch 3 is the latest effort to keep up with reigning smartwatch ruler Apple, introducing familiar features like fall detection and ECG. But Samsung also does a few things better, like sleep tracking and getting you to move. Plus, its hallmark physical rotating bezel is still a superior way to navigate a smartwatch. At $400, the Watch 3 costs the same as the Apple Watch Series 5, making it clear who Samsung sees as competition. Samsung is going for the smartwatch crown, for Android users at least. And despite a few quirks, the Galaxy Watch 3 has potential. Samsung's Mystic Bronze color for this year's devices looks nicer on the Note 20 Ultra than on the Watch 3. The case itself has a more copperish hue, while the leather band on my review unit is closer to mauve than bronze. If you prefer something more conservative, there's always the generic black option. Regardless of the hue, the Galaxy Watch 3 is noticeably lighter and slimmer than the Galaxy Watch, and it doesn't feel as overwhelming. Its stainless steel case is shinier and classier than the Galaxy Watch Active 2, although its underside is noticeably chunkier. There's also a bump in between the two buttons on the right side that prevents them from being accidentally pressed when the back of my hand presses into the watch. I was a little worried when my colleague Chris Velasco came back from his hands-on, saying that the Watch 3's rotating bezel was lighter and smaller than the originals, and that it didn't clunk into each notch as definitively as before. But I was relieved when I used the wheel on my review unit. It's a lot lighter and smaller, yes, and glides past each notch more smoothly than before. But it's not like it's spinning freely, and there's enough resistance here that you have to be fairly deliberate when twisting it from one notch to the next. If the original Galaxy Watch's bezel moved like the big wheel on The Price is Right, then the Watch 3's feels more like the whizzing spinner that's on the Wheel of Fortune. In between the rotating bezel and the 1.2-inch display sits a ring of small carvings for 5, 10, and 15-minute marks and so on. It's a design flourish that isn't actually helpful, especially since a regular watch would have 1, 2, and 3 to show the hours, rather than the 5, 10, and 15 here. But it's nice to look at. The Apple Watch and Fitbit Versa 2 both sport more minimalist and basic designs with squarish faces that I don't care for. Most of the Galaxy Watch 3's new features revolve around making it a better health and fitness companion. The upcoming ECG tool, for example, along with new blood pressure readings, could help provide more insight to your overall health. But these are pending a software update and a regulatory approval in the latter case, so I wasn't able to test them for this review. One of the updates that I was able to try was the new running coach. Samsung's not the first company to provide real-time audio and visual feedback on your jog, but the latest wearables from its main competitors, like Apple, Fitbit, and Garmin, don't offer this. Plus, Samsung is doing it for free, which is rare. After selecting a goal from options like light running, calorie burning, and speed endurance, you can start your run. In the light mode, I was guided through 4 stages at gradually increasing speeds, and the watch buzzed and told me to either slow down or speed up to hit the targets. When I met, and also when I stayed within the recommended range, the coach would tell me I was doing well, all with corresponding graphics on the display. Every so often, too, the watch would say things like, "Great pace, keep up this pace," or "Think positively, you're getting closer to your goal with every step." It's meant to be encouraging, but when delivered in its very robotic voice, it borders on creepy.
You've reached your target.
The Watch 3 shows more comprehensive analysis for runs than other workouts. In addition to your usual average heart rate, session duration, and calories burned, you'll see feedback on your symmetry, contact time, flight time, stiffness, and regularity, with advice on what areas you need to improve. You get more guidance like suggested drills and charts showing your cadence and pace when you view your session in the Samsung Health app on your phone. I'm not a hardcore runner, so this information isn't super useful to me, but exacting athletes will likely appreciate the extra data. I may not be an expert in exercising, but I'm basically an Olympic gold medalist when it comes to sleeping. Samsung updated the Watch 3's sleep tracking to use the heart rate monitor and accelerometer data. This is a very similar approach to Fitbit and uses the info to estimate how much time you spend in zones like REM, light sleep, deep sleep, or when you were awake. Samsung will count the time you spent asleep and other factors like restlessness to assign you a score. I had a terrible night of drifting in and out of sleep before being woken at 6:45 a.m. by a delivery person. When I looked at my watch later, I felt vindicated to see the Watch 3 had recorded 4 separate sleep sessions for the night, each period corresponding with times I had woken up. I don't know all the exact times, but the watch accurately matched one instance when I remember noticing the sun was beginning to rise. According to the watch too, I barely spent any time in the restorative deep sleep zone, instead mostly hanging around light and REM sleep. There's no real way to tell if Samsung's accurate in detecting these zones, but the Watch 3 so far matches my experience. With this, Samsung joins Fitbit in offering more insight on your sleep than Apple, even with the new watchOS 7 beta that has yet to publicly roll out. On that beta, the Apple Watch will log how long you were asleep and note interruptions, but won't tell you what zones you were in, which paints a better picture of sleep quality. Your overall well-being isn't just about working out and sleeping. Tizen OS health tracking continues to outshine Wear OS and Fitbit OS. It offers helpful widgets for logging your food and water intake, and while I'm dubious on the accuracy of its stress tracking tool, it at least offers some guided breathing exercises to help you relax. I especially like that when the Watch 3 notices you haven't moved in an hour, it'll not only prompt you to get up and move, but also suggest some easy exercises that you can do at your desk. I like a lot of things about Samsung's software, but I wish its heart rate monitor were faster. It takes about 10 to 13 seconds to get a reading, at which point impatience has usually driven my pulse up. Meanwhile, the Fitbit Versa 2 and the Apple Watch generally take about 5 seconds. Although Samsung added some new tools to make the Watch 3 a more serious fitness companion, it still feels better suited for a more mainstream user than a professional athlete. New stats like VO2 max give more insight into your body's performance during a workout, while blood oxygen readings are sometimes called the fifth vital metric by which to assess your health. The first 4 are pulse, temperature, blood pressure, and respiratory rate. These are useful in specific circumstances, but not of much use to the average person. Samsung just released a software update that allows you to get your blood oxygen readings on the Watch 3, and I got results of 98%, 99%, and 99%. The Watch 3 interface showed me that this was on the extreme right end of a spectrum, but there was no other way to understand what that meant. Was I healthy? How did I rank against other people of my age and gender? I always appreciate more data, but this time I had to go to Google to make sense of it. Thankfully, my result is normal. Above 95% is normal, and you should see a doctor if you get something lower. The Galaxy Watch 3 also offers a feature that first showed up on an Apple Watch: trip detection. It's more like Apple's fall detection for bigger stumbles, except Samsung used a different name. The Galaxy Watch 3 will notice if you've fallen while you're in motion, not when you're still, and send an SOS message with your location to up to 4 contacts you've selected. I deliberately hurled myself onto a yoga mat a few times, but never triggered the system. I also fell a couple of times during my workouts, but the Watch 3 never registered them, possibly because I was tracking my exercise. I can't safely test this feature to see if it'll work in life-threatening situations, but at least you don't have to wait till the Watch 3 determines you've fallen to get help. You can push the home button on the right side 3 times to call your emergency contacts and share your location with them too. One of Samsung's smartwatch strengths, at least against competitors like Fitbit and Garmin, is how it syncs with your phone. Tizen is far better equipped at handling things like replying to messages, controlling your music, summoning an Uber, or controlling your smart home than the Versas and the Vivo Actives. When you receive a message, the watch will show some of the exchange before it so you can get some context for your conversation. Pictures and messages also show up in notifications, which is something the Fitbits and Garmins don't offer. If you want to, you can also use the Samsung Watch to call your friends, and the onboard mic will make you sound clear. The speakers are loud enough to hear over some light background noise too.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
My Watch 3 had some bugs and missing features though. There's no QWERTY style swipe keyboard for composing messages like in previous Galaxy Watches. The Spotify controller was also finicky. It would skip and pause my music, but refused to change the song title or album art on the watch. That issue was fixed after Spotify updated its mobile app though. The Galaxy Watch 3 consistently lasts about 2 days before running out of juice, offering a few hours extra if I didn't spend part of the day tracking a workout. That's in line with the Watch Active and more than the Watch Active 2. The original Galaxy Watch generally clocked about 4 days on light use though, while Fitbits and Garmin smartwatches typically stick around for 5 days or more. Samsung does beat its main competitor though, as Apple Watches generally come in at between 1 and 2 days, depending on use. Samsung also offers a battery saving mode that turns the watch to a basic timekeeper and step tracker. When my Watch 3 was down to 9%, I switched to battery saving and got close to another day out of it. This is useful when you're out and don't want to be left with a dead screen on your wrist, but don't expect days of extra juice out of it. And if you've bought the LTE version, expect runtime to be shorter than my non-cellular model. There are still some features missing on my review unit of the Galaxy Watch 3, like ECG and potential blood pressure monitoring. But even without those, Samsung has a winner here. The Galaxy Watch 3 offers improved sleep tracking and more comprehensive monitoring of various health metrics. Tizen OS is also better than Fitbits and Garmin's at apps and syncing with your phone. If you're considering an upgrade from a Galaxy Watch Active, know that you'll mostly be paying more for that spinning bezel and upcoming ECG feature. For people on Android who aren't looking for the niche insight and feedback from the likes of Garmin and Polar, the Watch 3 has a robust and well-rounded set of features. With the Galaxy Watch 3, Samsung easily holds onto the title of Best Smartwatch for Android users, an honor it's held for the past 2 years. For more in-depth reviews on other smartwatches you might want to buy and the Apple Watch Series 5, make sure you subscribe to Engadget. And as always, thank you for watching.